On paper, the PlayStation Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds have a lot going for them, promising excellent sound quality, AI noise rejection technology for the microphone, and lossless audio support using the PlayStation Link adapter. But do these things live up to the hype? Well, let's talk about that in my review of the PlayStation Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds.
Happy listening from our sponsor, SVS. Acclaimed for punching well above their class, experience thrilling and immersive sound from SVS speakers, subwoofers, and cables at an affordable price. Join the sound revolution today. Visit svsound.com.
Now, full disclosure here, Sony did provide the Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds to me with pre-launch access for this review, and I do get to keep them after I'm done reviewing them. However, I haven't been told what to say here, no money has changed hands, and I'm approaching this review as if I were to pay for these with my own money. Now, with that out of the way, let's kick things off and talk about the build quality. In terms of build quality, let's start with the charging case. Now, immediate first impressions were not entirely positive. This thing feels flimsy and incredibly light, even with the earbuds inside. Now, sliding it open doesn't feel all that great either, with a plastic thunk letting you know just how fragile the charging case really is. Now, just take a listen here. I wouldn't want to risk a drop on a hardwood or a tile floor, and even a carpet drop might be pushing it depending on the height this falls from. Now, those with pets or children who like to shove things off of shelves and desks will definitely want to make sure that the charging case is in a secure place when not in use. Now, moving on to the earbuds themselves, they are made of plastic and feel decidedly lightweight, which actually works in their favor in terms of comfort. The volume buttons on each of the earbuds do feel fine, but are at somewhat of an odd angle if you need to adjust things quickly. Now, while some may think they feel a bit cheap or flimsy, especially considering they come in at $200, I get the feeling that, as with most other wireless earbuds, these were designed to be lightweight to make sure they're going to stay comfortable for long gaming sessions or movie watching. I found myself wearing these for 3 or 4 hours at a time, listening to music in between playing games or editing videos, and never once did I find them uncomfortable. Now, I don't really have much to say about the included PlayStation Link adapter here. It gets the job done, and I really don't think anyone expects it to be built like a tank, which it isn't. It's just a simple USB dongle after all. Overall, though, the build quality of the whole package is probably fine for most people, but those looking for something that feels a bit more premium for the money will need to look elsewhere. Now, I know everyone wants to know how these sound and perform, and I've actually been really impressed with the overall sound quality of the Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds. The bass here is nice, tight, and well balanced without being overblown and won't overpower the mids and highs. It's not the richest, deepest bass I've heard out of a pair of earbuds or even headphones for that matter, but what it lacks in richness and depth, it makes up for in overall bass clarity. Now, things may not be as boomy and bombastic as other earbuds or headphones, but what I've found with the Pulse Explorers is that there is clarity here that allows you to actually hear detail within the bass instead of a loud, boomy mess that you might get with other headphones or earbuds, and I'm looking at you, Beats. I do think it's important to note here that since the Pulse Explorers seal to your ear canals, finding the right size ear tips is basically required in order to get the most out of the bass and even the lower mid frequencies to some degree. Now, if you don't, then not only will you have to deal with a lot of discomfort, the bass will sound anemic if not almost non-existent. This goes for any earbuds that seal to your ears, not just the Pulse Explorers, but I did feel it was worth mentioning. Since clarity seems to be the name of the game with the Pulse Explorers, this also applies to mid and high frequencies as well. These are not the brightest or punchiest earbuds I've ever heard, and I'd even say the higher end frequencies do roll off a bit at the top end in order to reduce harshness, but man, do they sound nice and balanced across the board. Dialogue clarity and overall dynamics were top-notch here and sounded very natural outside of some of the mids sounding a bit boosted here and there, but overall nothing to really complain about. In terms of volume, I did find the Pulse Explorers on the quieter side. Even when the volume was maxed out, things seemed to sound a bit soft, and that may be due to the high frequency roll-off I mentioned earlier, though I can't confirm if that's actually the case as I don't have a way to measure that. So what about this whole lossless audio and lower latency thing from the PlayStation Link adapter? Well, in all honesty, I wouldn't purchase the Pulse Explorers for these two things alone. Most people will have a hard time telling the difference between the audio from the headphone jack on the PS5 controller and the lossless audio provided to the Pulse Explorers via the PlayStation Link. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a difference, just that it's honestly so very minor and also affected by the Pulse Explorer's own sound signature, which makes it impossible to do A/B comparisons via PlayStation Link. Now, I suppose there is a peace of mind knowing that you won't have to worry about compressed audio, but I honestly wouldn't consider this something that would push me over the edge if I was trying to decide to buy the Pulse Explorers or not. The lower latency thing is again something incredibly difficult to even detect, and it will likely be that way for most people. Just like with the lossless audio, the peace of mind knowing you're getting the fastest audio connection possible is an added bonus, but not really a selling point in my opinion. Microphone quality is up next, and here is where I found the Pulse Explorers to really falter, especially considering Sony's promo material really pushed their AI noise rejection technology, but more on that in a moment. Straight to the point here. The Pulse Explorers have one of the worst sounding microphones I've ever heard out of a gaming headset, and they straddle the line between making it sound like you have a stuffy nose or you're underwater, sometimes both. And both of these things were literally echoed back to me by all my friends I chatted with online to test these out. This is a test of the microphone on the PlayStation Pulse Explore wireless earbuds connected via PlayStation Link. And yeah, I don't know or think that these will sound any different than Bluetooth, but I could be wrong, and I will happily be proven wrong. And yeah, so hopefully you can kind of get an indication of what these sound like. And yeah, that's super cool, I guess. Now, without even knowing I was using the headset at first, 4 out of the 5 friends I chatted with online asked if I was sick or had a cold because they said I sounded different, like I had a stuffy nose. Not a single person was impressed with the mic quality on the Pulse Explorers, and that includes this guy right here. Now, as someone who chats quite a bit online with my friends, having a high quality microphone is a necessity, and I'll just say right now that if microphone quality is important to you, then you definitely want to consider something else. However, the AI noise rejection technology Sony mentioned in their promo materials for the earbuds definitely have merit, but it's not without faults of its own. It works wonders to cut down on outside noise at the expense of sometimes cutting off the end of words when you finish a sentence. It seems here that the AI noise rejection tech is a bit overly aggressive, which leads to an almost weird, lifeless sound to your voice as it sounds like you're both sick and in a room with absolutely zero echo. I'll throw in a quick noise rejection test clip from a video I did over on my channel, Home Theater Gamer, where I wanted to see just how effective it was on cutting down outside noise. Now, if you're interested in that full video, you'll find a link to that video in the description below. It goes without saying here that the following clips have no audio post-processing applied to them at all. I only adjusted the levels to match the volume to the mic I'm using right now. Okay, I'm back on the earpods now because these pick up a lot of noise. I have a tower oscillating fan over here. It has 4 different levels of intensity. I'm gonna cycle through those, take a little beat, let you hear the noise, go up a level, and then once it hits level 4, I'll lean back over here and kind of talk just a little bit, and then we'll switch over to the Pulse Explorers and see how those fare. All right, I'm starting now, so here is level 1. Level 2. Level 3. And level 4. All right, so I'll lean back now so you can kind of hear, and this is pretty loud. I can hear it over here on my end, and it's pretty distracting. I know that if you were maybe on the phone, someone would be able to hear this for sure. So yeah, it's pretty distracting. So I'm gonna switch over to the PlayStation Explorers now, and we'll see how the noise reduction works on these. All right, so these are the PlayStation Pulse Explorers via PlayStation Link. I'll start with number 1 again. So here's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. All right, so I'm sure you can tell I've actually tested this already, and this is what impressed me the most. Now, you can probably hear a little bit of static in my voice right now, but for the most part, compared to the ear pods, this sounds far and away better. If I stop talking, you can't really hear it at all. Now, even if I talk like at a lower volume, like I'm kind of not whispering, but I've just kind of lowered my voice a little bit so you can kind of hear how these sound. I think it still probably sounds pretty good. Again, you could probably hear a little bit in the background, but whatever they're doing with their AI noise rejection, it's definitely working. Maybe a little over aggressive at times, but yeah, I don't think anybody will be able to tell if you have a fan on in the background. In terms of connectivity and setup, the Pulse Explorers worked right out of the box when I plugged the PlayStation Link adapter into my PlayStation 5. No additional syncing was required for things to work here, but if needed, the syncing process is relatively easy and painless. Now, with things working right, all I had to do was make sure the PS5 was set to output all audio to the headset and verify my 3D audio profile. From there, I was good to go with gaming or watching a movie. Now, volume was controlled by either the buttons on the side of either of the earbuds or within the PlayStation 5 menu itself. Plugging the PlayStation Link adapter into my M1 MacBook Air and subsequently my PC worked. However, I did have to sync the earbuds with the PlayStation Link to each different device after I plugged them in. Otherwise, the PlayStation Link would never show up as an audio device on either my Mac or PC. Now, once everything was good to go though, it was as easy as setting the audio device for both input and output on each platform, and things worked flawlessly. Bluetooth connections also connect easily with a standard, simple pairing process. I was able to connect to my iPhone, iPad, and MacBook Air here without issue. Basically, any device with Bluetooth audio capability should work. Now, once connected via Bluetooth, you can listen to music or take a phone call while also simultaneously listening to audio from the PlayStation Link adapter on any platform that the adapter is connected to, not just the PS5, so pretty cool stuff. I want to shift gears here and talk about some of the bigger issues I have with the Pulse Explorers, starting with connectivity issues. Now, while syncing things up with the PlayStation 5 is pretty quick and easy with the PlayStation Link adapter, I did experience connection drops with the Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds and the PlayStation Link adapter numerous times while gaming on the PS5. It would always happen about 10 minutes into whatever game I was playing and would require me to resync the earbuds with the PlayStation Link adapter to get things working again. After that, I wouldn't experience any drops until I put the console in standby mode to come back and play some more later. Now, about 10 minutes or so into my next session, I deal with the same exact issue, and it was pretty much repeatable every single time when in standby mode. Now, if I powered off the system completely and came back later to play a game, things were good and I didn't have any issues. So I'm led to believe that this issue is related to standby mode somehow. Now, my current suggestion, if you run into issues, is to just not use standby mode and just power off the system completely. Strangely enough though, using the PlayStation Link adapter on PC or Mac exhibited no such issues, and neither did connecting via Bluetooth. The drops only happened on the PS5. Weird and annoying for sure. Moving on to things that are completely missing on the Pulse Explorers, if you looked at the original Pulse 3D headset that launched alongside the PS5 back in 2020, you might also know that that particular headset also launched without adjustable EQ or even basic EQ profiles. Now, it wasn't until mid-2022 that Sony added the ability to change EQ profiles on that headset with the PS5 system update. So I was just assuming that all that hard work Sony put into making people happy with adjustable EQ profiles on the Pulse 3D headset would carry over into their new Pulse line. For the Pulse Explorers, that is not the case. There are no EQ profiles, no adjustable EQs, nothing, which is super disappointing considering it's on their cheaper headset, so why limit such features on your higher end and more expensive product? Honestly, I don't know. Hopefully the Pulse Elite will launch with that functionality, or at least get an update to these at some point, allowing us to customize the sound to our liking. Something else you won't find on the Pulse Explorers is side tone or mic monitoring, which basically feeds some of the audio from your mic back into the headset. Now, since the Pulse Explorers seal to your ears and block a bit of outside noise in the process, having the option to bring back a bit of your voice from the mic into the headset can help keep you from yelling into the mic. Super helpful if you're trying to be quiet while gaming at night, or if you just simply don't want to scream in your teammates' ears. Also absent is a mute button for the mic on the earbuds themselves. So if you're on the PS5, you'll need to use the mute button on the controller to mute your voice. Same goes for if you're making a call using Bluetooth on your phone. You have to use the mute function on your phone to mute your voice. Now, both side tone and mute buttons were on the original Pulse 3D headset at launch in 2020, so it's a head scratcher why neither of these features made the cut on the Pulse Explorers. So what's my final verdict? Would I recommend the PlayStation Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds? Honestly, it really depends. Now, if overall sound quality is the most important thing to you and you don't care about the microphone or the lack of features such as customizable EQs, mic monitoring, and a simple mute button on the earbuds, then I'd probably say it's a safe bet that you'll be happy with this Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds. Aesthetically, I really do think they look cool as well, so that's also something to consider if you care about that sort of thing. However, if you're far more critical than most, want a better sounding microphone along with mic monitoring and a mute button and customizable EQs, or even just simple basic EQ profiles, then I'd say you want to look elsewhere. Even something like Sony's own in-zone earbuds, which cost the exact same as a Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds and do work with the PS5, have most, if not all, the features that are sorely lacking on the Pulse Explorers. Yes, you do lose out on lossless audio support and reduced latency, but in all honesty, the differences those two things add here are pretty negligible and something most people won't even notice. Sony could have really knocked these out of the park if there weren't a bunch of features missing from what is supposed to be their higher tier offering over the original Pulse 3D, which is honestly a shame, really. It's still a head scratcher as to why these features were omitted, and I can only hope we see a system update or a firmware update down the road to address these issues and missing features. As it stands, and overall, I unfortunately cannot recommend the PlayStation Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds in their current form unless you simply want a PlayStation branded set of earbuds with great sound quality and don't care about all that other stuff. Now, if Sony can fix and address the issues mentioned, then I'd have no problem giving the Pulse Explorers a glowing recommendation, and they would become my go-to recommended headset for the PS5, hands down. Until these things are addressed, however, I consider checking out Sony's in-zone wireless earbuds instead. But I want to hear from you down in the comments. What are your thoughts on these missing features and the Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds overall? Are you picking these up regardless of the missing features? Leave a comment down below and let us know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in another video.